Namaste. Okay, the auto war first. Chapter 10. There we go. 10. Terrain. Sun Tzu said, "We may distinguish 6 kinds of terrain to it: accessible ground, entangling ground, temporizing ground, narrow passes, precipitous heights, positions at a great distance from the enemy. Ground which can be freely traversed by both sides is called accessible. With regard to ground of this nature, be before the enemy in occupying the raised and sunny spots, and carefully guard your line of supplies. Then you will be able to fight with advantage. Ground which can be abandoned but is hard to reoccupy is called entangling. From a position of this sort, if the enemy is unprepared, you may sally forth and defeat him. But if the enemy is prepared for your coming, and you fail to defeat him, then, return being impossible, disaster will ensue. When the position is such that neither side will gain by making the first move, it is called temporizing ground. In a position of this sort, even though the enemy should offer us an attractive bait, it will be advisable not to stir forth, but rather to retreat, thus enticing the enemy in his turn. Then, when part of his army has come out, we may deliver our attack with advantage. With regard to narrow passes, if you can occupy them first, let them be strongly garrisoned, and await the advent of the enemy. Should the enemy forestall you in occupying a pass, do not go after him if the pass is fully garrisoned, but only if it is weakly garrisoned. With regard to precipitous heights, if you are beforehand with your adversary, you should occupy the raised and sunny spots, and there wait for him to come up. If the enemy has occupied them before you, do not follow him, but retreat and try to entice him away. If you are situated at a great distance from the enemy, and the strength of the two armies is equal, it is not easy to provoke a battle, and fighting will be to your disadvantage. These 6 are the principles connected with earth. The general who has attained the responsible post must be careful to study them. Now an army is exposed to 6 several calamities, not arising from natural causes, but from faults for which the general is responsible. These are flight, insubordination, collapse, ruin, disorganization, and rout. Other conditions being equal, if one force is hurled against another 10 times its size, the result will be the flight of the former. When the common soldiers are too strong and their officers too weak, the result is insubordination. When the officers are too strong and the common soldiers too weak, the result is collapse. When the higher officers are angry and insubordinate, and on meeting the enemy give battle on their own account from a feeling of resentment, before the commander-in-chief can tell whether or not he is in a position to fight, the result is ruin. When the general is weak and without authority, when his orders are not clear and distinct, when there are no fixed duties assigned to officers and men, and the ranks are formed in a slovenly, haphazard manner, the result is utter disorganization. When a general, unable to estimate the enemy's strength, allows an inferior force to engage a larger one, or hurls a weak detachment against a powerful one, and neglects to place picked soldiers in the front rank, the result must be a rout. These are 6 ways of courting defeat, which must be carefully noted by the general who has attained the responsible post. The natural formation of the country is the soldier's best ally, but a power of estimating the adversary, of controlling the forces of victory, and of surely calculating difficulties, dangers, and distances constitutes the test of a great general. He who knows these things and in fighting puts his knowledge into practice will win his battles. He who knows them not, nor practices them, will surely be defeated. If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight, even though the ruler forbid it. If fighting will not result in victory, then you must not fight, even at the ruler's bidding. The general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign, is the jewel of the kingdom. Regard your soldiers as your children, and they will follow you into the deepest valleys. Look on them as your own beloved sons, and they will stand by you even unto death. If, however, you are indulgent, but unable to make your authority felt, kind-hearted, but unable to enforce your commands, and incapable, moreover, of quelling disorder, then your soldiers must be likened to spoiled children. They are useless for any practical purpose. If we know that our own men are in a condition to attack, but are unaware that the enemy is not open to attack, we have gone only halfway towards victory. If we know that the enemy is open to attack, but are unaware that our own men are not in a condition to attack, we have gone only halfway towards victory. If we know that the enemy is open to attack, and also know that our men are in a condition to attack, but are unaware that the nature of the ground makes fighting impracticable, we have still gone only halfway towards victory. Hence, the experienced soldier, once in motion, is never bewildered. Once he has broken camp, he is never at a loss. Hence the saying, if you know the enemy and know yourself, your victory will not stand in doubt. If you know heaven and know earth, you may make your victory complete. Okay? And that was, and so now Korean. Give me 1 second here. Why is that so? What kind of font is that? It just looks funny. I don't know why it looks funny. Why does it look funny? Anyway, okay, now Korean. My first time reading it with the fusion of Baphomet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just crazy. Not yeah. But if you know what I'm talking about, this is fun. Life is fun. Okay. Chapter 10, Korean. Baphomet reading Korean. Today's date, June 11th, 2025. I'm gonna take a little it's kind of like a celebration for me. So let me take some medicine. Give me 1 minute and then I'll do this. This will be fun. 그러니까 지형 지형에는 통형이라는 것이 있고 궤형이라는 것이 있으며 지형이라는 것이 있고 애형이라는 것이 있으며 험형이라는 것도 있고 원형이라는 것이 있다. 아군이 진격할 수 있고 적군이 쳐들어올 수 있는 지형을 통형이라고 한다. One second. 통형이란 아군이 먼저 높고 양지 바른 곳을 점거해 식량의 보급로를 확보한 뒤 전쟁을 하게 되면 이롭다는 것이다. 진격할 수는 있으나 물러나기는 어려운 지형을 궤형이라고 한다. 궤형이란 적군이 방비하고 있지 않을 때 진격하면 그들에게 승리할 수 있다는 것이다. 만일 적군이 방비하고 있으면 진격해도 승리하지 못하고 돌아오기도 어려워 불리하다. 아군이 진격해도 이롭지 못하고 적군이 진격해도 이롭지 못한 곳을 지형이라고 한다. 지형이란 비록 적군이 이익으로 아군을 유인해도 진격해서는 안 되고 적군을 유인해 그들을 물러나게 하고 적군으로 하여금 반쯤 진격해 나오게 하였을 때 그들을 공격해 유리함으로 삼는다. 해형이란 아군이 먼저 점령해 그 양측의 병력을 가득 채우고 적군을 기다린다. 만약 적군이 먼저 그곳을 점령해 양측의 병력을 채워놓고 있으면 이 지역을 지나가지 않아야 한다. 병력을 채워놓지 않고 있으면 그곳을 따라 지나가면 된다. 험형이란 아군이 먼저 그곳을 점령하는 것이니 반드시 높고 양지 바른 곳을 점령해 적군을 기다린다. 만약 적군이 그곳을 먼저 점령하고 있으면 아군을 병력을 이끌고 그곳을 떠나 적들을 따라가지 말아야 한다. 원형이란 양측의 세력이 비슷하면 싸움을 걸기 어려우며 싸워도 불리하다. 무릇이 6가지는 지형을 이용하는 기본 원칙이며 장수된 자의 중요한 임무이니 반드시 살피지 않으면 안 된다. 그러므로 군대에는 주병이라는 것이 있고 이병이라는 것이 있으며 함병이라는 것이 있고 붕병이라는 것이 있으며 난병이라는 것이 있고 배병이라는 것이 있다. 무릇이 6가지는 하늘과 땅의 재앙이 아니라 장수의 허물이다. 양측의 세력이 균등한데도 하나의 힘으로 열의 힘을 치는 군대를 주병이라고 한다. 병사들은 강한데 지휘관이 나약한 군대를 이병이라고 한다. 지휘관은 강한데 병사들이 약한 군대를 한병이라고 한다. 주장의 명령에 복종하지 않고 적과 마주치면 명을 거슬러 독자적으로 출전하며 장수가 그의 능력을 알지 못하는 군대를 풍병이라고 한다. 장수가 나약해 엄하고 못하고 이치를 가르치는 것이 분명하지 못하며 지휘관과 병사들이 정해진 규칙 없이 병력을 배치함에 있어 멋대로 하는 군대를 남병이라고 한다. 장수가 적군의 적정을 헤아리지 못하고 적은 병력으로 많은 적군과 싸우며 약한 병력으로 강한 적군을 공격하며 병사들 중에서 선발된 정예 병이 없는 군대를 패병이라고 한다. 무릇이 6가지는 패배하는 길이며 장수된 자의 중요한 임무이니 실피지 않으면 안 된다. 무릇지형이란 용병을 도와주는 것이다. 적군의 적정을 헤아려 승리를 이끌며 지형에 험한하고 평탄하며 멀고 가까운 것을 계산하는 것이 상장의 길이다. 이것을 알고 싸우는 자는 반드시 이기고 이것을 알지 못하고 싸우는 자는 반드시 패한다. 그러므로 전쟁의 이치상 반드시 이길 수 있으면 군주가 싸우지 말라고 하여도 반드시 싸우는 것이 옳고 전쟁의 이치상 이길 수 없으면 군주가 반드시 싸우라고 하여도 싸우지 않는 것이 옳다. 그러므로 진격하는 것은 명예를 추구하지 않고 퇴각하는 것도 죄를 피하지 않으며 오로지 백성을 보호하고 이익이 군주에게 부합되는 것만을 생각하니 이런 장수는 나라의 보배이다. 병사들은 마치 어린아이 대하듯이 하여야 하니 그들과 함께 깊은 계곡을 달려가기 때문이다. 병사들은 자식을 사랑하는 것처럼 하여야 하는 것이니 그들과 함께 죽을 수도 있기 때문이다. 그러나 병사들을 너무 후하게 대하면 부릴 수 없으며 아끼기만 하면 명령할 수 없게 된다. 어지러우면 다스릴 수 없으니 비유하건대 교만한 자식과 같아서 아무 소용이 없다. Last section. 아군의 병사가 공격할 수 있는 것만을 알고 적을 공격할 수 없다는 것을 알지 못하면 절반의 승리만 있게 된다. 이와는 반대로 적을 공격할 수 있다는 것을 알고 아군이 공격할 수 없다는 것을 알지 못하면 이 또한 절반의 승리만 얻을 뿐이다. 적을 공격할 수 있다는 것을 알고 아군이 공격할 만한 능력을 가지고 있다는 것을 알아도 지형이 싸울 수 없다는 것을 알지 못하면 절반의 승리만 있을 뿐이다. 따라서 용병을 아는 자는 출동해도 미혹되지 않고 군대를 일으켜도 궁지에 몰리지 않는다. 그러므로 적을 알고 나를 알면 승리는 곧 위태롭지 않으며 하늘을 알고 땅을 알면 승리는 곧 온전해질 것이다. Yeah, that was really crazy. The Baphomet, the cannabis. Okay. And hypnosis. The two languages, the same meaning. The Old Testament next. Thank you. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. Thank you. Okay. Mic check. Yeah, mic's still working. Cool. Alright. Exodus chapter 32. When the people saw that Moshe was taking a long time to come down from the mountain, they gathered around Aaron and said to him, "Get busy and make us gods to go ahead of us, because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him." Aaron said to them, "Have your wives, sons, and daughters strip off their gold earrings and bring them to me." The people stripped off their gold earrings and brought them to Aaron. He received what they gave him, melted it down, and made it into the shape of a calf. They said, "Israel, here is your God, who brought you up from the land of Egypt." On seeing this, Aaron built an altar in front of it and proclaimed, "Tomorrow is to be a feast for Yahweh." Early the next morning, they got up and offered burnt offerings and presented peace offerings. Afterwards, the people sat down to eat and drink. Then they got up to indulge in revelry. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Go down, hurry. Your people, whom you brought up from the land of Egypt, have become corrupt. So quickly they have turned aside from the way I ordered them to follow. They have cast the metal statue of a calf, worshipped it, sacrificed to it, and said, 'Israel, here is your God, who brought you up from the land of Egypt.'" Yahweh continued speaking to Moshe, "I have been watching these people, and you can see how stiff-necked they are. Now leave me alone, so that my anger can blaze against them, and I can put an end to them. I will make a great nation out of you instead." Moshe pleaded with Yahweh, his God. He said, "Yahweh, why must your anger blaze against your own people, whom you brought out of the land of Egypt with great power and a strong hand? Why let the Egyptians say, 'It was with evil intentions that he let them out, to slaughter them in the hills and wipe them off the face of the earth'? Turn from your fierce anger. Relent. Don't bring such disaster on your people. Remember Abraham, your Yitzchak, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your very self. You promised them, 'I will make your descendants as many as the stars in the sky, and I will give all this land I have spoken about to your descendants, and they will possess it forever.'" Yahweh then changed his mind about the disaster he had planned for his people. Moshe turned and went down from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand. tablets inscribed on both sides, on the front and on the back. The tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God engraved on the tablets. When Yehoshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moshe, "It sounds like war in the camp." He answered, "That is neither the clamor of victory nor the wailings of defeat. What I hear is the sound of people singing." But the moment Moshe got near the camp, when he saw the calf and the dancing, his own anger blazed up. He threw down the tablets he had been holding and shattered them at the base of the mountain. Seeing the calf they had made, he melted it in the fire and ground it to powder, which he scattered on the water. Then he made the people of Israel drink it. Moshe said to Aaron, "What did these people do to you to make you lead them into such a terrible sin?" Aaron replied, "My Lord shouldn't be so angry. You know what these people are like, that they're determined to do evil." So they said to me, "Make us gods to go ahead of us, because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Egypt, we don't know what has become of him." I answered them, "Anyone with gold, strip it off." So they gave it to me. I threw it in the fire, and out came this calf. When Moshe saw that the people had gotten out of control, because Aaron had allowed them to get out of control, to the derision of their enemies, Moshe stood at the entrance to the camp and shouted, "Whoever is for Yahweh, come to me." All the descendants of Levi rallied around him. He told them, "Here is what Yahweh, the God of Israel, says. Each of you put his sword on his side and go up and down the camp from gate to gate, and every man is to kill his own kinsman, his own friend, and his own neighbor." The sons of Levi did what Moshe said, and that day 3,000 of the people died. Moshe said, "You have consecrated yourselves today to Yahweh, because every one of you has been against his own son and against his own kinsman, in order to bring a blessing on yourselves today." The next day Moshe said to the people, You have committed a terrible sin. Now I will go up to Yahweh. Maybe I will be able to atone for your sin." Moshe went back to Yahweh and said, "Please, these people have committed a terrible sin. They have made themselves a god out of gold. Now, if you will just forgive their sin, but if you won't, then I beg you, blot me out of your book which you have written." Yahweh answered Moshe, "Those who have sinned against me are the ones I will blot out of my book. Now go and lead the people to the place I told you about. My angel will go ahead. My angel will go ahead of you. Nevertheless, the time for punishment will come, and then I will punish them for their sin." Yahweh struck the people with a plague because they had made the calf, the one Aaron made. Chapter 33. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Leave, you and the people you brought up from the land of Egypt. and move on from here toward the land of which I swore to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. I will give it to your descendants. I will send an angel ahead of you, and I will drive out the Canaanite, Amorite, Hittite, Perizzite, Hivi, and Yebusi. You will go to a land flowing with milk and honey, but I myself will not go with you, because you are such a stiff-necked people, that I might destroy you on the way. When the people heard this bad news, they went into mourning, and no one wore his ornaments. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Tell the people of Israel, you are a stiff-necked people. If I were to go up with you for even one moment, I would exterminate you. Now, keep your ornaments off, then I will decide what to do with you." So from Mount Horeb onward, the people of Israel stripped off, the people of Israel, the people of Israel stripped themselves of their ornaments. Moshe would take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far away from the camp. He called it the tent of meeting. Everyone who wanted to consult Yahweh would go out to the tent of meeting outside the camp. Whenever Moshe went out to the tent, all the people would get up and stand, each man at his tent door, and look at Moshe until he had gone into the tent. Whenever Moshe entered the tent, the column of cloud would descend and station itself at the entrance to the tent. And Yahweh would speak with Moshe. When all the people saw the column of cloud stationed at the entrance to the tent, they would get up and prostrate themselves, each man at his tent door. Yahweh would speak to Moshe face to face, as a man speaks to his friend. Then he would return to the camp, but the young man, who was his assistant, Yehoshua, the son of Nun, never left the inside of the tent. Moshe said to Yahweh, "Look, you say to me, make these people move on, but you haven't let me know whom you will be sending with me. Nevertheless, you have said, I know you by name, and also you have found favor in my sight. Now please, if it is really the case that I have found favor in your sight, show me your ways, so that I will understand you and continue finding favor in your sight. Moreover, keep on seeing this nation as your people." He answered, "Set your mind at rest. My presence will go with you after all." Moshe replied, "If your presence doesn't go with us, don't make us go on from here. For how else is it to be known that I have found favor in your sight, I and your people, other than by your going with us? That is what distinguishes us." That is what distinguishes us, me and your people, from all the other peoples on earth. Yahweh said to Moshe, "I will also do what you have asked me to do, because you have found favor in my sight, and I know you by name." But Moshe said, "I beg you to show me your glory." He replied, "I will cause all my goodness to pass before you, and in your presence I will pronounce the name of Yahweh. Moreover, I show favor to whomever I will, and I display mercy to whomever I will. But my face," he continued, "you cannot see." because a human being cannot look at me and remain alive. Here, he said, is a place near me. Stand on the rock. When my glory passes by, I will put you inside a crevice in the rock and cover you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face is not to be seen. Okay, sorry. Chapter 34. Yah said to Moshe, cut yourself 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I will inscribe on the tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. Be ready by morning. In the morning you are to ascend Mount Sinai and present yourself to me on the top of the mountain. No one is to come up with you, and no one is to be seen anywhere on the mountain. Don't even let the flocks or herds feed in front of this mountain. Moshe cut 2 stone tablets like the first. Then he got up early in the morning and, with the 2 stone tablets in his hands, ascended Mount Sinai, as Yahweh had ordered him to do. Yahweh descended in the cloud, stood with him there, and pronounced the name of Yahweh. Yahweh passed before him and proclaimed, Yud He Vav He. I think it's just Yahweh. Yahweh. Yahweh is God, merciful and compassionate, slow to anger, rich in grace and truth, showing grace to the 1000th generation, forgiving offenses, crimes and sins, yet not exonerating the guilty, but causing the negative effects of the parents' offenses to be experienced by their children and grandchildren, and even by the 3rd and 4th generations. At once Moshe bowed his head to the ground, prostrated himself, and said, If I have now found favor in your view, Yahweh, then please let Yahweh go with us, even though they are a stiff-necked people, and pardon our offenses and our sin, and take us as your possession. He said, Here, I'm making a covenant. In front of all your people, I will do wonders such as have not been created anywhere on earth or in any nation. All the people around you will see the work of Yahweh. What I am going to do through you will be awesome. Observe what I am ordering you to do today. Here, I am driving out ahead of you the Amori, the Canaanite, Hittite, Perizzite, Hivi, and Yabusi. Be careful not to make a covenant with the people living in the land where you are going, so that they won't become a snare within your own borders. Rather, you are to demolish their altars, smash their standing stones, and cut down their sacred poles, because you are not to bow down to any other god, since Yahweh, whose very name is jealous, is a jealous God. Do not make a covenant with the people living in the land. It will cause you to go astray after their gods and sacrifice to their gods. Then they will invite you to join them in eating their sacrifices, and you will take their daughters as wives for your sons. Their daughters will prostitute themselves to their own gods and make your sons do the same. Do not cast metal gods for yourselves. Keep the festival of matzah by eating matzah, as I ordered you, for 7 days during the month of Aviv. For it was in the month of Aviv that you came out from Egypt. Everything that is first from the womb is mine. Of all your livestock you are to set aside for me the males, the firstborn of cattle and flock. The firstborn of a donkey you must redeem with the lamb. If you won't redeem it, break its neck. All the firstborn of your sons you are to redeem, and no one is to appear before me empty-handed. Sorry. Meow. 6 days you will work, but on the seventh day you are to rest. Even in plowing time and harvest season you are to rest. Observe the festival of Shavuot with the first gathered produce. Sorry, something just happened. What happened? That sucks. Alright. Sorry. This was something I was doing on the side. Give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna start at verse 21. I'm gonna read maybe another chapter. I'm not really sure. I might just stop after this chapter. Maybe one more chapter. Here we go. 6 days you will work, but on the seventh day you are to rest. Even in plowing time and harvest season you are to rest. Observe the festival of Shavuot with the first gathered produce of the wheat harvest, and the festival of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year all your men are to appear before the Lord Yahweh, the God of Israel. For I am going to expel nations ahead of you and expand your territory, and no one will even covet your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh your God 3 times a year. You're not to offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, and the sacrifice of the feast of Pesach is not to be left until morning. You're to bring the best first fruits of your land into the house of Yahweh your God. You are not to boil a young goat in its mother's milk. Yahweh said to Moshe, "Write these words down, because they are the terms of the covenant I have made with you and with Israel." Moshe was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights, during which time he neither ate food nor drank water. He wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 words. When Moshe came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, he didn't realize that the skin of his face was sending out rays of light as a result of his talking with him. When Aaron and the people of Israel saw Moshe, the skin of his face was shining, and they were afraid to approach him. But Moshe called to them. Then Aaron and all the community leaders came back to him, and Moshe spoke to them. Afterwards, all the people of Israel came near, and he passed on to them all the orders that Yahweh had told him on Mount Sinai. Once Moshe had finished speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when he went in before Yahweh for him to speak, he would take the veil off until he came out. Then, when he came out, he would tell the people of Israel what he had been ordered. But when the people of Israel saw Moshe's face, that the skin of Moshe's face shone, he would put the veil back over his face until he went in again to speak with him. Okay, one more chapter. Let me see how long it is. Shorter one. Okay, I think this is the last chapter. Last chapter, 35. Give me 30 seconds. Thank you. Okay, chapter 35. Moshe assembled the whole community of the people of Israel, and said to them, These are the things which Yahweh has ordered you to do. On 6 days work is to be done, but the seventh day is to be a holy day for you, a Shabbat of complete rest in honor of Yahweh. Whoever does any work on it is to be put to death. You are not to kindle a fire in any of your homes on Shabbat. Moshe said to the whole community of the people of Israel, Here is what Yahweh has ordered. Take up a collection for Yahweh from among yourselves. Anyone whose heart makes him willing is to bring the offering for Yahweh, gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, fine linen, goat's hair, 10 ram skins, and fine leather, acacia wood, oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense, onyx stones and stones to be set for the ritual vest and the breastplate. Then let all your craftsmen among you come and make everything Yahweh has ordered: the tabernacle with its tent covering, fasteners, planks, crossbars, posts, and sockets, the ark with its poles, ark cover, and the curtain to screen it, the table with its poles, all its utensils, and the showbread, the menorah for the light, with its utensils and lamps, and the oil for the light, the incense altar with its poles, the anointing oil, the fragrant incense, the screen for the entrance way at the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar for burnt offerings, with its poles and all its utensils, the basin with its base, the tapestries for the courtyard, with their posts and sockets, the screen for the gateway of the courtyard, the 10 pegs for the tabernacle, the 10 pegs for the courtyard with their ropes, the garlands for officiating, for serving in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aharon the Kohen, and the garments for his sons, so that they can serve in the office of Kohen. Then the whole community of the people of Israel withdrew from Moshe's presence. And they came, everyone whose heart stirred him, and everyone whose spirit made him willing, and brought Yahweh's offering for the work on the tent of meeting, for the service in it, and for the holy garments. Both men and women came, as many as had willing hearts. They brought nose rings, earrings, signet rings, belts, all kinds of gold jewelry, everyone bringing an offering of gold to Yahweh. Everyone who had blue, purple, or scarlet yarn, fine linen, tanned ramskins, or fine leather brought them. Everyone contributing silver or bronze brought his offering for Yahweh, and everyone who had acacia wood suitable for any of the work brought it. All the women who were skilled at spinning got to work and brought what they had spun, the blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and the fine linen. Likewise, the women whose heart stirred them to use their skill spun the goat's hair. The leaders brought the onyx stones, and the stones to be set, for the ritual vest and the breastplate, the spices, and the oil for the light, for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense. Thus every man and woman of the people of Israel, whose heart impelled him to contribute to any of the work Yahweh had ordered through Moshe, brought it to Yahweh as a voluntary offering. Moshe said to the people of Israel, See, Yahweh has singled out Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Yehudah. He has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge concerning every kind of artisanry, artisanry. He is a master of design in gold, silver, bronze, cutting precious stones to be set, wood carving, and every other craft. He has also given him Oholiab, the son of Akisamak, of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with the skill needed for every kind of work, whether done by an artisan, a designer, an embroiderer, using blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen, or a weaver. They have the skill for every kind of work and design. I want to read one more chapter. One more. It'll be 5 chapters, I think, right? Yeah, 5 chapters. Yeah, sounds about right. 5 chapters per session. It'll be 1 hour when I'm done with it. At the 1 hour mark, I mean. Okay. It's fun. This is my, fortnight. This is my minefield. I don't even know what those things are. Namaste. Chapter 36. Bezalel and Oholiab, along with all the craftsmen whom Yahweh has endowed with the wisdom and skill necessary to carry out the work needed for the sanctuary, are to do exactly according to everything Yahweh has ordered. Moshe summoned Bezalel, Oholiab, and every craftsman to whom Yahweh had given wisdom, everyone whose heart stirred him, to come and take part in the work. They received from Moshe all the offering which the people of Israel had brought for the work of building the sanctuary. But they still kept bringing voluntary offerings every morning, until all the craftsmen doing the work for the sanctuary left the work they were involved with, to tell Moshe, "The people are bringing far more than is needed to do the work Yahweh has ordered done." So Moshe gave an order which was proclaimed throughout the camp. Neither men nor women are to make any further efforts for the sanctuary offering. In this way, the people were restrained from making additional contributions, for what they had already was not only sufficient for doing all the work, but too much. All the skilled men among them who did the work made the tabernacle using 10 sheets of finely woven linen and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. He made them with cherubim worked in that had been crafted by a skilled artisan. Each sheet was 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. All the sheets were the same size. He joined 5 sheets one to another, and the other 5 sheets, I can't say sheets because of my injury. Alright, starting at verse 10. He joined 5 sheets one to another, and the other 5 sheets he joined one to another. He made loops of blue on the edge of the outermost sheet in the first set, and did the same on the edge of the outermost sheet in the second set. He made 50 loops on the one sheet, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the sheet in the second set. The loops were opposite one another. He made 50 fasteners of gold, and coupled the sheets to each other with the fasteners, so that the tabernacle formed a single unit. I'm sorry about my injuries. This sucks. He made sheets, and it's the same word over, and it's gonna be a little torturous. Here we go. Starting at 14. He made sheets of goat's hair to be used as a tent covering the tabernacle. He made 11 sheets. Each sheet was 45 feet long and 6 feet wide. All 11 sheets were the same size. He joined 5 sheets together and 6 sheets together. I could do this. He made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost sheet in the first set, and 50 loops on the outermost sheet in the second set. I'm sorry. He made 50 fasteners of bronze to join the tent together, so that it will be a single unit. He made a covering for the tent of 10 ram skins, and an outer covering of fine leather. He made the upright planks of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each plank was 15 feet long and 2¼ feet wide. There were 2 projections on each plank, and the planks were joined one to another. This is how he made all the planks for the tabernacle. He made the planks for the tabernacle as follows: 20 planks for the south side, facing southward. He made 40 silver sockets under the 20 planks, 2 sockets under one plank for its 2 projections, and 2 sockets under another plank for its 2 projections. For the second side of the tabernacle, to the north, he made 20 planks and their 40 silver sockets, 2 sockets under one plank and 2 under another. For the rear part of the tabernacle, toward the west, he made 6 planks. For the corners of the tabernacle in the rear, he made 2 planks, double from the bottom all the way to the top, but joined at a single ring. I'm so sorry. He did the same with both of them at the 2 corners. Thus there were 8 planks with their silver sockets, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under each plank. He made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the planks of the one side of the tabernacle, 5 crossbars for the planks of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 crossbars for the planks at the side of the tabernacle at the rear toward the west. He made the middle crossbar so that it extended from one end of the planks to the other, halfway up. He overlaid the planks with gold, made gold rings for them through which the crossbars could pass, and overlaid the crossbars with gold. More. He made the curtains of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely woven linen. He made them with cherubim worked in that had been crafted by a skilled artisan. He made for it 4 posts of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold and gold hooks, and cast for them 4 silver sockets. For the entrance to the tent, he made a screen of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely woven linen in colors, the work of a weaver. With its 5 posts and their hooks, he overlaid their capitals and their attached rings for hanging with gold, while their 5 sockets were of bronze. I'm always like messing up like one out of the whole thing, always. 5 sockets were of bronze. Okay. I think I'm done. Thank you very much. Namaste. Chanting next. I've mentioned this a couple of times by now. I'm only gonna chant for like an hour and 15 minutes, and if there's an emergency, maybe 2 hours. And if I'm doing like magic, meaning shrooms, then 3 hours, 4 hours. But I don't know what I was thinking, doing 6 hours of chanting a day. So yeah, 1 hour and 15 minutes of 1 hour and 30 minutes of chanting next. Have a good day. Namaste.